We know that the Mimic is a blend of Japanese myths and legends, but there's only one problem you encounter when you complete everything inside the Mimic. It gets repetitive. Not only that, but the only things you can do is complete chapters and obtain the lanterns. But what if there were brand new features inside the Mimic that would make the game more engaging? Well, I listed a couple of features that would make the Mimic way more enjoyable than it is, or possibly. If you came up with a new feature, you'll be glad to share in the comments below. Let's get started, shall we? For the very first feature that comes to mind is where people can create their own fan-made maps and monsters. The way this works is that you'll have everything inside our studio ranging from the monsters, mouses, textures, lighting, etc. With these varieties you can create your own buildings, objectives, cutscenes, and possibly your own jump scare. For the monsters, the developers can add a very basic software which is very similar to Blender. For the people that are not familiar with Blender, it's a software which you can rig characters, model them, and use them for animation. But Blender looks extremely complicated from what I heard. I've never used it before, so I don't really know, but there's a chance I might use it for improving my YouTube thumbnails. Also, I forgot to point out that there will be ranking systems for each map and monster created so you can play the top rated maps. Not only will this take our boredom away, but it might benefit Mukditch and his team since they can see what their fans created and possibly hire them, basically giving them more time to focus on the game, improving their quality overall, and possibly reducing the time it takes for a new update to come out. When Muk hired iKarma and Cactus has died, there were some very noticeable changes to the brand new chapter updates, like higher quality jump scares, chase themes being implemented for the very first time, and of course, a boss battle. But I'm surprised Muk found the perfect developers. iKarma used to be a small Bloxburg house builder, which made her a builder on the Mimic, from what I heard. And the people who build houses on Bloxburg are extremely creative. I do not know how they do it, but it's really impressive. And for Cactus, he made 2 Roblox games called The Forest and More I Call Home. And Mukditch himself is talented. He made a really good fighting animation between Kentaro and Kusunoki. And of course, he created the iconic game called The Mimic. For the second feature we can have implemented inside the Mimic is probably currencies or tokens. The way this will work is that there will be tokens scattered around the entire chapter which you have to collect, or by completing the objectives given to you within a certain time frame, or by receiving the tokens by dying less and completing a chapter within a certain time limit. With these tokens you have a couple of options you can have. The first option is to buy extra lives. This will be costly, but what it does is when you get killed by the monster in nightmare mode, you have the option to use a butterfly spirit to revive yourself. The second feature you can have to buy with the tokens is lantern cosmetics. You can buy the lantern cosmetics if you have not completed a chapter in nightmare mode, or you can buy custom fan-made lanterns or different lanterns that are custom made by the developers. I'll pop up some lanterns on screen for some basic designs of what you could get. And for the third and final options you could use your tokens on if you like to flex expensive items like Sama's head, Enzukai's head, Yumi's head, Natomo's head, and 6 of Kusunoki's cursed items. These so-called flexing cosmetics will range from either 700 to 1000 tokens. You would probably be crazy if you bought one of the 4 beasts' head or the cursed items. Also, I wanted to add lantern abilities where you can spend your tokens on, but from what I heard, this system might be added to yokai instead. For this third one, it will be very similar to the doors achievements, but the way this will work is that you'll be able to see different obtainable achievements inside the lobby and in game. But if you do complete all the achievements inside the game, you will be rewarded with a special lantern, extra lives, and a medium sum of tokens. Some examples of the achievements you could possibly obtain is store the monsters within a long period of time, die over 100 times to the exact same monster, use one of your friends as a sacrifice for your escape, complete the chapters as fast as possible, but you get the idea anyways. But after you complete an achievement, you will hear 5 continuous heartbeats and a badge will pop up on the top right corner indicating your completion. This feature was made for the people who like to grind consistently in their favorite games and to also give people a challenge if they want to put themselves to the very test. And I have a sudden feeling that this feature might be added to the game since the player count is really low, at least the time I'm recording this video. The player counts have been really low when there is no update for a couple of months, so they can keep the players busy rather than just completing every single chapter over and over and attempting to get all the lanterns inside the game. For the 4th feature that could be added inside the Mimic is somewhat questionable, I would say, since I don't think any horror game at all has this feature, but correct me if I'm wrong. But it's competitive minigames. But these competitive minigames will occur during the mini boss battles with the Segamo and the Ringmaster, or people will get a notification invitation to play a game at a random given point in time. For the mini boss battles, at any given time when the monster is about to strike you or when the monster is low on health, you will be teleported off-site to a random location where you'll be given a random objective like survive Segamo's entities, survive the Ringmaster's ambush, or run away from the monsters as long as you can. Or you'll be given an inbox notification which asks the player if they are willing to compete. The challenges could be survive the monsters with minimal hiding spots, complete a chapter within a certain time frame, return Hiachi's doll within 5 minutes, or return the Ringmaster's bunny back to the circus. Unfortunately, I could not think of a good 5th feature, but if you want to have fun right now in the Mimic, the only suggestion I can give you guys is to play with your friends. If you have any, of course. And that leads to the end of this video. I do apologize for the long gap between the previous video and this video. I just got really lazy, I was procrastinating, I was watching cartoons, I was hanging out with my family members as well. See ya.